Hello there. So LLAP, Terran Orbital, one company, one story. Welcome to another story and another video in my One Company, One Story series. This time, Terran Orbital, LLAP. Here comes the amateur legalese. I began investing in companies and their stocks in the late 70s, but am not a certified investment professional. My style and history in investing is described in Dream Invest Live, and I guess I should show a picture of that book because I went to the extent of writing it. A book I wrote by request, which came out as the Great Recession hit. So don't underestimate luck, whether it's good luck or bad luck. Again, I am not an investment professional. This is not investment. This is not financial advice. This is just my observation of companies that intrigue me. So let's get back to Terran Orbital. Enough of my smiling face. There we go. Now this is their homepage, but to be honest, I like this next one better. They are pioneers of small satellites. There you go. Evidently, I've been tracking Terran Orbital's progress without knowing it. Terran Orbital is one of the pioneers of a new type of small satellite, particularly cubesats. What's that got to do with me? Well, for a few years, I worked alongside people who worked for decades on big satellites, which progressively were designed to be bigger, more sensitive, and more powerful. An additional perspective, the main launch I was involved in blew up, so rockets do that. But that also highlights the risk in this business. Terran works on the smaller, more affordable rockets. They don't satellites. They don't design rockets, but they sure make sure their satellites fit the rocket. Let's see, they got some pictures around here somewhere. There we go. So they actually got quite a selection. And for instance, I think this is their largest, and I think it's 1,000 kilograms, as compared to James Webb, which is 6,000. And these tiny little guys, well, I'm sure the data's in here somewhere. And the smallest platform, oh, I'm sorry. They have it somewhere else, and I didn't have it queued up right. My mistake. Sorry about that. Anyway, small satellites are popular. Large organizations still have needs for large satellites. I mean, NASA and the James Webb Telescope. But the James Webb Telescope's sun shield alone is the size of a tennis court. And some of these satellites from Terran are small enough to fit in your car seat. So small may not be grand, but small tends to be cheaper, easier to fit onto a rocket, and doesn't require monumental infrastructure. Plus, if the rocket goes boom or the satellite has a problem, replacing it is less of a hassle. Let's see, they got that's the cute little guy. There we go. 5 whole kilograms. That's tiny. There's one picture they had for scale that had a person. There we go. It's not this. I don't think it's. I think it's this little guy right up here. That's it. Anyway, Terran was there near, if not at, the beginning of the CubeSat business. There's the history they've got sitting there, and they've got people that were definitely there before anything ever launched. And while there was some activity there, the company didn't really get founded until 2013. So it wasn't at the personnel could have been there at the very start, but the company wasn't. The company was there 10 years ago, but still, that's 10 years in this business, which a lot of folks hadn't even heard of and still have not heard of. So happy 10th anniversary. Space continues to break into three main markets: military, civil, and commercial. And all three are benefiting from more responsive solutions, and those satellites are benefiting from improved and shrinking technology. I mean, that's the real key to this whole thing. Is used to be that you needed always bigger, 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 and now they're finding that you can get an awful lot done when smaller. Of course, they also have some scale things, so they do go up to the larger ones. But that's one of the benefits. Let's see if I can go back here to the. Oh, there we go. This thing here. I mean, they have a product. They have a product pipeline. This is pretty cool. So the industry has grown from the downscaling of the technology and the drop in launch prices as renewable rockets have proved feasible. So it's a new industry. They're in early. What's the worry? Well, from my research, my quick research, the company seems to be dealing with small company and startup company problems. It's easy to imagine financing and cash being difficult with such an irregular revenue stream. They only get paid by the launch. Launches don't tend to be a very regular thing. Throw in a rapidly evolving technology. Small satellites can have a lower bar to entry, which is handy, but it also means greater competition. Getting the technology right is hard enough. Maintaining proper cash flow can be just as difficult as rocket scientists. As rocket science. So the inevitable look at the chart, and look at that chart. It shows a fall from about $10 in the spring of 2022 to under $1 at the start of autumn of 2023. So less than 2 years. As a result, disgruntled co-founders and investors are asking for a management reorganization at least. And irony of ironies, let's see, that came out. What do you know? Today, as I was uh, getting ready to record this, they claim an estimated $3 per share intrinsic value. Simply getting back to up to that level would be a fourfold increase in share price. And I noticed when they were describing their complaints, uh, it was business related. It was not as likely to be technology related, which to a tech guy like me is encouraging. If it is a financial thing, there are much more practiced uh, consultants and whatnot, and folks who know how to reorganize and things like that. Painful if that's your job that's getting reorganized, but still, as far as a company goes, if they're fine enough with the technology, then that's a major foundation. Now, there's a lot of rocket and space related puns. I'll skip those. But I have a bias towards commercial space. I got a master's in aerospace and ocean engineering and worked in Boeing's commercial space group in the late 90s. It is a fascinating field with unique problems, but also with many familiar and mundane ones. One of them could be that engineers can make the transition to managerial roles, but not all can, and need to do more research to assess whether that is one of the issues. Issues, luckily, can be temporary. As long as we don't clutter up the orbits too much, this can finally be the time for the industry to grow beyond a few uh, massive organizational customers and bring in more customers that weren't even considering having assets in space and being able to do business up there. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope they survive and thrive. I'll be watching.